My name is Corporal Norman Nicolson Campbell of the Pioneer Corps. I was born in Springburn Road in Glasgow in 1892. My dad, Malcolm Campbell, was a blacksmith's journeyman, and my mother was Annie Nicholson from Portree in Isle of Skye. After spending my early years in Glasgow, I moved down the coast to Girvan and I work as a marine fitter. I met a Girvan lass, Mary Patterson. She'd been a widow since her husband Samuel had died in 1923. We married at the South Parish Church Manse on the 18th of September 1931, and we settled into a wee house at 188 Dalrymple Street. In 1935 we welcomed the arrival of our son Malcolm, and we named him after my dad. When the war broke out, I joined the Auxiliary Military Pioneer Corps. We ended up at Dunkirk in May 1940 as Operation Dynamo swung into action to evacuate those of us trapped there. We came under heavy fire and took shelter. I ended up being taken as a prisoner of war on the 29th of May. After what seemed like a lifetime, I ended up in Lamsdorf, and I am now a prisoner of war in Stalag 8B, Lamsdorf in Silesia in Poland. My POW number is 16474. The barbed wire fences surrounding the camp are formidable. They were about 8 feet high and fixed to thick pine logs driven into the ground at intervals of 6 feet. There's 2 fences running parallel about 5 feet apart, and the intervening space was filled with rolls and rolls of barbed wire. The gauge of the wire was almost the thickness of a pencil, and the barbs had vicious sharp spikes, so escape was not an option. The conditions there are just too bleak to describe. By the time I got to Lamsdorf, my Mary had died in August of 1940. She had cancer of the cervix and uterus. My wee Malcolm went to stay with my sister Mary and her husband Robert in Glasgow. But just 8 months later, my wee boy died of diphtheria. I won't find out about this for quite some time, as the Red Cross letters from home are sparse. It was in Lamsdorf that, now you're not going to believe this, I bumped into Jackie Finlay from Ardmillan Road. He was a couple of years younger than me at the school, and he was captured 2 days before I was at Dunkirk. He'd been with the Royal Army Service Corps. It was a sight for sore eyes, I can tell you. We often chatted about the old town and wondered where all our pals would be. It was an escape for us both to reminisce. Jackie would make it home after the war, and when liberated he would famously be given donuts by the actress Marlene Dietrich at the airport in Nuremberg. Good luck to you, Jackie. On the 20th of January 1943, after a very bitter spell of freezing cold weather, wearing threadbare clothes and living hour by hour, I die from cardiac failure. My body will be buried within the Lamsdorf camp, and in September of 1948, 3 years after the war ends and after VE Day, my body is taken and finally laid to rest in Krakow's Rakowicki cemetery. Who will remember me now that my family is gone? My name is not listed on Girvan War Memorial. We are all mentioned on the headstone of Mary's first husband in the Doon Cemetery, so if you are passing, give us a wee nod. My name is Norman Nicolson Campbell, and I will forever be 50 years old.